Welcome back to another episode of Secret Sauce. In this episode, we discuss the need for creating a really shitty segment, starting with Professor Lisa Durden. Then we speak with Enda and Dee Dee, the two ladies behind Black Girl Squee podcast. We read a really important article by Leslie Mack, discuss the movie Rivermint with Shayla Raquel, and then we end the show with a little comedy segment with Leslie Jones. Enjoy. So, this is frustrating to even say this, but I've decided that I'm going to create a new segment for my show. I'm going to call it Stop Shitting on Our Sheroes. You like that? The alliteration of that one? Yeah, stop shitting on our Sheroes. It happens every day, all day to Black women. And I'm going to go over one example that's infuriating and ridiculous. And I'm talking about Lisa Durden. She was a college professor at Essex County College in New Jersey, and she had been a Fox contributor for quite some time. But where the problem came in was an interview she did with Tucker Carlson Tonight on June 6th. And she went on there and defended the All Black Memorial Day celebration that was hosted by a Black Lives Matter group. And because of that, she lost her job. I'm going to read to you what the college says. It's stupid. But it's infuriating because she expressed an opinion. Everything that she said was absolutely true. The college fired her because they said that she somehow connected the college to her comments. And what they did is what she said later on, which is they publicly lynched her for expressing her opinions on what she knows is a right of every person to celebrate themselves. And that's what that Black Lives Matter group was doing. They were celebrating themselves. So I'm going to play the interview, and then I will read to you what the college says in regards to firing her. So I'll start it from the very beginning so you get the full gist.
Party and barred anyone who was not Black from attending. This is what they said. Being intentional about being around Black people is an act of resistance. This is an exclusively Black space, so if you do not identify as Black and want to come because you love Black people, please respect the space and do not come. Lisa Durden is a political commentator and Black Lives Matter supporter. She joins us tonight. Lisa, thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Good to see you again. You're doing well.
Thank you. I was confused by this because I thought the whole point of Black Lives Matter, one of the points would be to speak out against singling people out on the basis of their race and punishing them for that. Because you can't control what your race is, and yet they seem to be doing that. Explain that to me.
What I say to that is boo-hoo-hoo. You white people are angry because you couldn't use your white privilege card to get invited
Lisa.
to the Black Lives Matters All Black Memorial Day celebration. Wow. Let me contextualize that for you. Memorial Day was created by...
I don't want you to... First of all, I don't want you to contextualize.
Oh, I need to contextualize it because Memorial Day was created by Black former slaves in 1865 to honor those individuals who were Union soldiers who fought and died for our freedom. So Black Lives Matter, in that same vein, decided to get together with Black folks.
I'm not going to let you filibuster past my question.
To make sure that Black folks were celebrated for being murdered by racist terrorists.
I don't want to shut this down, but I will. Okay. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I just have a really simple question for you. If you don't like people excluding others on the basis of their race, and as a society we agree that that's bad. I agree it's bad, you agree it's bad. Then why are you doing it? And why are you defending it now?
White folks crack me up all of a sudden when we want to have one day for black folks to focus on ourselves. But you've been having white days forever. You don't say the words anymore because you know it's politically incorrect. But you've had an all-white Oscars, all these movies with all-white actors, movie after movie after movie, all-white TV shows with white casts over and over and over again. The Bachelorette, it took 11 seasons of a black bachelorette. Are you serious?
It's hard to believe. I hope you're not speaking for anyone else. I hope there aren't a lot of people in this country who agree with you.
Well, my name is Lisa Durden. I'm speaking for Lisa Durden.
I just hope there aren't people watching who agree with you, because what you're saying is so hostile and separatist and crazy. It's such a basic violation of what I thought we all agreed on, which is you don't attack people for things they can't control, namely their race.
It's not an attack. I'm stating the facts. People give weddings where they exclude children. It doesn't mean they don't like children. They don't know if your kids are going to be monsters and those kids are going to be well behaved. So in that same vein, Black Lives Matter decided to have one day where they didn't want white folks who were going to be off the rails. They don't know if you're going to be the ones behaved and for them or the ones who are there against them. So they picked one day to do the celebration.
Let me just ask you a quick question. Do you think it's racist to exclude people on the basis of their skin color?
I think it's racist when you've been excluding people for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years.
Stop with your silly lectures. I'm asking you a very simple question.
We're forced to come together collectively to celebrate ourselves because you guys won't. You are the larger society. Let's be real here.
You guys, I'm talking about what I thought we all believed. Let me ask you this. Do you think it would be fair if white people did come to a Black Lives Matter celebration?
They do all the time. When you look at Black Lives Matter,
do you use the same water fountain that they do?
And you see Black Lives Matter coming together collectively for different issues. You see people of all races. So we do accept them. This particular day, they said, stay your asses out. We want to celebrate today. We don't want anybody going against us today.
And you can't celebrate if someone who doesn't look like you is around?
Yes, you can, but you can also say, I don't want to do it. It's a personal choice.
Sick. And what you're saying is disgusting. And if you were a Nazi, I would say the same thing to you.
Luckily, I'm not a Nazi.
Because what you're saying is indistinguishable from what they are saying, which is, I don't care your opinions, I don't care your views, your life experience, your intentions. All I care about is the way you look, something that you can't control. And on that basis alone, I'm judging you, and I'm hostile to you. That's the case you're making, and it's divisive and wrong. And it's amazing that you didn't have to say that out loud, but I can't believe you're making the case you're making.
Unfortunately, when you have a racist society like America, you force individuals to come together collectively to make sure that they have a voice. And that's unfortunate that the racism has caused people to come together collectively.
Let me ask you a question. Is there a single white person in America you would have let into this? Into the celebration.
I'm not Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is a movement.
You're just an apologist for this.
However, I can respect the decision. It doesn't mean it's a decision I would have made. Maybe I would have. Just like a wedding where I might say your kids can't bring their badasses in my wedding.
Children are not an ethnic group. Every person in
You're
the
discriminating
world,
against people with kids. You're saying don't bring your badass kids.
Would it be okay? Yeah, but you see,
and that's
okay, but there are white adults and Asian adults and Hispanic adults. And presumably they're basically the same as black adults, but you don't agree with that.
We have gay pride parades. We have Puerto Rican Day parades. We have all kinds of parades and days that honor individuals. We have Mother's Day. We have Father's Day.
Fathers are allowed to participate
just take your mama out,
I'm not sure you're even capable of having this conversation, so I'm going to end it now. Let me just ask you one last. Let me ask you one last question, and be totally honest with this. Do the people in your world, your parents, your siblings, your kids, your friends, do they agree with you on this?
My family respects my right to free speech.
No, don't give me that dumb answer. I mean, do they agree with what you just said, though? Do you know a lot of people who agree with what you just said?
Speech.
Whatever. No one's contesting it.
I'll see you next time on your show. You'll be inviting me on again.
So, yeah, that was the interview. Yeah, couple of things. Tucker Carlson is so full of shit, dude. Like, it's so exhausting when white people try to throw racism in our faces when we try to celebrate ourselves. We're not celebrated. I mean, she brought up some really good points. Black Bachelorette, 11 seasons. to still have some pretty hokey candidates for her as the black bachelorette, chances are she'll probably be with the white guy and not a good black. I can't. Whatever. The Oscars, she brought that up, how we're not reflected anywhere. The other day I was on Facebook, and there is a t-shirt that was created recently, and it was all women on the t-shirt. It was superhero women, and they were all black, which we know we have yet to really see, right? So they had a black Wonder Woman on it. It had a black Supergirl on it. It had a black Batgirl on it. And I thought the shirt was really cool. Like, we're never reflected like that. And it made me feel good. And I was about to purchase it. And the very first comment was, so you had to change all the races on them? It really bothers white people when we want to celebrate ourselves, when we want to be reflected in the things that we see on a daily basis. I don't get it. The white people are reflected in everything. You're everywhere. But whenever black people want to celebrate themselves, just like they did at this Black Memorial Day party, it's a problem. It's an issue. Now we're racist. No. Now we're celebrating ourselves. Leave us alone. You won't do it. Why can't we celebrate ourselves? And I think that was the only point she was trying to make. Tucker Carlson compared her to a Nazi. He called her, called it identity politics. Like he did everything to call her a monster because she said that Black Lives Matter had the right to have their own party that didn't include white people. Jesus, why do you guys have to be included in everything and we're included in nothing? Do you hear how dumb that sounds? It's exhausting. It's exhausting. And so the college says that they fired her because, they use a couple of different reasons, but one of the reasons that they said they fired her was because somehow the college, she named the college somehow, and it affected the college negatively. Well, nowhere in that interview does she mention the college, and she's been an adjunct on Fox News for quite some time. So it wasn't that, she had zero fucks to give. She gave it to them. So I'm going to read the statement from the college. The statement is from the Essex County College President, Anthony Monroe, who says, the college was immediately inundated with feedback from students, faculty, and prospective students and their families expressing frustration, concern, and even fear that the views expressed by a college employee with influence over students would negatively impact their experience on campus. So what I got from that right there is, you fucking with our money. You fucking with our money. You got students mad, and you got prospective students mad, and you got their families mad. That's why she got fired. I fully believe, this is the rest of the statement, I fully believe that institutions of higher learning must provide a safe space for students. The character of this institution mandates that we embrace diversity, inclusion, and unity. Racism cannot be fought with more racism. You gotta be shitting me. So your excuse for firing her was that she was racist based on racism against black people. That's literally the dumbest shit I ever heard. And you're a college president. You should know better. You're a college president in New Jersey, which is a black and brown state. Are you serious right now? Just the ridiculousness of this statement is overwhelming to me. He ended by saying the college affirms its right to select employees who represent the institution appropriately and are aligned with our mission, while noting that it supports and affirms the rights of free speech, independent views, and expressions of those views for our faculty and staff. Well, that's bullshit, because you fired her because she said something you didn't like. She didn't do anything. She said something you didn't like. You fired her for her free speech, where college is where you come into your own. You become an adult. That's where you learn how important free speech is. Where there's always repercussions to free speech. You learn that as well when you're in college. But this is a place where you start to learn your political views. This is a place where you start to express yourself. Like, that is what college is really about. Becoming an adult and forming adult decisions. What this college, president just said is basically, she said something we didn't like. She said something the students didn't like. Some of the parents didn't like. And you're messing with our money. You gotta go. It's absolute bullshit. And now she got fired on Friday of this week. So that would be the 23rd of June. And really, what I would like for all of us to do is just support her. Reach out to her and let her know that you support her. Because honestly, if black women don't support black women, who will? For real. So I'm going to put her Twitter up. It's Lisa Durden. That's LISARDURDEN. So that's Lisa R. Durden on Twitter. Man, follow her. Let her know that you support her, because this decision was absolute bullshit. Welcome back, everyone. Right now, I'm with Enda Lauren and Dee Dee Jennings from Black Girl Squee, which is a podcast that is based all around black women. And I just want to kind of talk to these ladies and see how they've come along with their podcast and, get some more ears on it. So, ladies, are you there with me?
Yeah, yes, we're here.
All right, welcome. So, first of all, tell me a little bit about yourselves. I'll start with you, Enda.
Well, as you said, I'm Enda Lauren. I am a writer and editor, podcaster, and a music curator. All for hire, as I put on my Twitter. I've been doing Black Girl Squee with Dee Dee for about 2 years now. And I've written for various outlets like The Learned Fangirl, where I am a contributing fellow right now. I've also been published in The Butter, which was an offshoot of The Toast, but they've both been canceled now. Been written in Bitch Flicks and other outlets such as that. I can't really think of any off the top of my head now, but
that's how this works, man. That's how this works.
Yeah. Jane. Oh yeah, XO Jane. Yeah, I've had a blog for a few years now, cornerstorepress.wordpress.com, and that's where I spend a lot of my time with writing about music, about black women in music, and doing book reviews sometimes.
Okay, and Dee Dee?
My name is Dee Dee. I go by Dust Daughter just about everywhere. I'm a podcaster. Sometimes I blog at dustdaughter.com.
Okay.
And I blog about sports. I like basketball. I blog about music and TV shows. And also blog to plug the podcast. We have a segment on Black Girl Squee called This Week in That Print. Hashtag WIDP.
That's what I'm talking about.
And we provide visual guides to that audio segment on my blog.
Oh, yes.
So
I'm sorry, what was that blog again?
Dustdaughter.com.
Yes, dustdaughter.com.
Yes.
They're all tagged DWIDP, so you can get straight to the print.
Yes, ma'am.
And
continue.
Okay, we found somebody who's just
continue
as we are.
It's our most popular segment, though, and I'm not surprised.
It is.
Wait, can I ask? Are gray sweatpants involved at all?
They might be.
Whenever applicable. If somebody wants to put them on and swing that thing, we are ready to report on it.
Yeah. We pull out top glasses for great sweatpants season.
I'm a fan.
Yes.
I'm so ready for these rompers.
Me too.
What?
Gervonta to get in that olive green romper.
Yes.
Wait, so y'all, look, I'm conflicted about these rompers, man. Are y'all serious about this? Look, I love a man. Look, if a man's got thighs, I love it.
Yes.
I love it. And there's no mistaking the print in it. But, yo, some of these romper examples I've seen, no.
No, it's got to be a stylish romper. Some of them are stylish. Some of them I'm like, what were you thinking? But also, it kind of depends on who's wearing it and how they pull it off.
Yeah.
I mean, African men have been wearing with these rompers for years.
Exactly.
So they know how to style it out.
And I kind of hate to put it this way, but black men can usually pull it off well too. Usually.
Yeah, because they got body.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and
nice.
body.
Yes.
But you can't just be putting on your sister's romper, man. There's a special type of romper that a man has to wear. Okay, all right. Well, as long as we're on the same page with that. Okay, so I know you said that you've been doing it for about 2 years. So what got you guys into podcasting to begin with?
Well, for me, I love podcasts. I mean, I've been writing about how much I love podcasts for 4 or 5 years now.
Oh, wow.
I'm still a huge fan of Nerdgasm Noir Network, which were 5 or 6 black women who just talked about a lot of things, like especially in nerd and geek cultures, and so it really just kind of felt like not just having a voice, but having a safe space, to share my interest and not feel left out in what was going on. And so they were feeling a really big void in podcasting there. And so that was one of the things that kind of made me feel like I can do it. But also, like Dee Dee said earlier, she wanted, to do it. She wanted to get back into podcasting, and she approached me with Black Girl Squee. And first, I actually thought she was just asking me to be on her show. I didn't know she wanted me to co-host it, but when I figured out that's what she wanted, I just went with it. And so I kind of fell into podcasting the same way I do a lot of things. I just kind of stumble into it and I'm like, hey, okay, I'm here, so may as well, look around.
Okay. Now, I know you talked about This Week in That Print. That's one segment. Tell me some more of your segments. And also, Dee Dee, tell me why you decided on the word squee, too.
Well, a member of Nerdgasm Noir Network, Melissa, was going by the Twitter handle, the Twitter name of Black Girl Squee. And I just thought, yeah, that's what I want to do the next time I do a podcast, because I had done podcasts about my favorite basketball team. I'd done a podcast that was trying to talk about genre TV, and then I tried to do a solo podcast. So I'd done, a couple of podcasts with, varying degrees of success and popularity. Not very much of either of those things, but I wanted to get back into it, and I wanted to do something that uplifted Black women and just celebrated all of the awesomeness. And and I thought Black Girl Squee would kind of encapsulate all of that. So you mentioned LaToya getting the idea of that it made you think of sororities and their calls, but I hadn't even thought about that, even though I live in the DC area and went to Howard and all that. That never even crossed my mind until you brought that up just now.
No, really, when I read your email about Black Girl Squee, I was like, okay, all right, well, let me see what this is about. I totally thought it had something to do with their calls, but either way, your podcast sounds really interesting. So tell me about your different segments.
We start out with Squee-worthy news, where we talk about magazine profiles done on Black women creators. We talk about casting news for Black women. We talk about awards that Black women have earned. Like recently, we celebrated April Ryan getting the National Association of Black Journalists Award for Journalist of the Year.
Yeah.
We talk about the Emmy and Oscar awards when Black women win, and Grammys and stuff like that. And we end each article with a really loud. You ready, Enda?
Yes, I love it when Black women are happy. Give it to me, shit. I love it.
Yeah, that's the whole point. That's the whole point of the show. I'm like, man, that's the thing. Like, you can take any week, of the year, and you will find Black women and girls just doing so much amazing and awesome things. I mean, it's just that we just consistently we just stay amazing, and so I love doing this show and just kind of touting that.
Yeah, man. I look. That's the reason why I wanted to do this show. Is I love Black women. I love when we happy. When we're happy, I love when we fight for each other. I just love us as a collective. So yeah, go ahead and squeeze, girl. Shit.
right there with you.
Right.
So there's Squee-worthy news. Then we may have a main topic if there's a really big issue that needs to be discussed. We recently talked about missing DC girls, because that's, I live here, so that's really important to me. We talked about the Black trans women. The rise in violence and murder against them. And we also used our Catch the Fade segment to to rip into somebody that was just putting out really dangerous and terrible ideas about trans women. So Catch the Fade is where we rant. It's basically our little read segment where we can get into what's been bugging us and getting on our nerves, but or just call out something that needs to stop. Then there's This Week in That Print, and Enda always comes up with a really relevant womanist vocab word that kind of ties the whole show together. And we end the show with a Black Girl Commandment.
Dee usually comes up with those.
So that's pretty much our show, and the episodes used to be longer. They're longer when we have a main topic, but I've been trying to make them shorter because I've gotten some feedback that people want to keep it to closer to an hour. When sometimes when we get talking, it ends up being 90 minutes to like 2 hours. So but that's the show pretty much. And if we get feedback, we'd read that at the top of the show. So
Okay.
Please send us feedback.
I know, right?
blackgirlsquee@gmail.com.
So what is the wait? But you skimmed over the Black Woman Commandment, right? What is that?
It's just a saying, just a little something
Yes,
to
could
end the
be.
show.
Yes, yeah, something like, protect black, girls and women at all costs. You know, just little nuggets like that.
Okay. Okay. I like that.
We're
So,
we're a reminder to practice self-care and
Yeah.
to
oh yeah.
sometimes you have to put that before caring for others. You can't just dole out all your energy on everybody else. You do have to keep some for you. So stuff like that. Just
Okay.
stuff that I wish people had told me a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I did an episode the other day, and one of the segments I did was about Solange writing a letter to herself, to her teenage self.
Mm-hmm.
I've never thought of doing that, but I wish I would have had something like that when I was a teenager come to me. The knowledge, yeah. So definitely, I think that what you're doing is important. So besides the obvious Black women, who else do you think your podcast is for?
I think get generally we get a women and female audience, because I
Mm-hmm.
know there are non-black women who listen to the show and enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
As like I said, they like to be happy too.
Right.
So yeah, a lot of people who have kind of realized that, well, black women, we are kind of at the forefront of things. We're kind of like, if you really, serious about being socially aware and all, you need to just be aware of what black women do, and think and know ways to support us. So I think we get those types listen to the show as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And where do you guys see your podcast going?
I want to build a network of
Yes.
shows
Oh, wow.
that feature the voices of Black women, women of color. I just like on my Patreon, I wrote that that podcasting is a very male dominated space right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and even a lot of the popular Black podcasts are hosted or co-hosted by men. So you're always getting that viewpoint, and I think the getting Black women's viewpoint is essential, and is not as prevalent in this space. So I would like to create a network where there are a lot more shows featuring Black women and giving our viewpoints on just everything. Just Black girls talking about sports, Black girls talking about politics, Black girls talking about comics, Black girls talking about movies, and Black girls talking about reality TV. I don't everything, just
Mm-hmm.
everything, but from our point of view. So
Yeah, I don't think she didn't mention yet. She's already starting that expansion, because she's done Mrs. from the Underground, which was a recap and commentary on the show Underground, and well, we won't talk about what's happened to that show yet. But
it's coming
also,
back, damn it! It's coming
it
back.
I'm gonna try to speak that into existence, because I need Underground to come back. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
yeah,
You know, I've never watched Underground. One of these days, I need to try
It's a
that.
lot. It's a lot.
Well,
yes,
let me not
But it's
lie.
very
I
good.
watched the first episode, and I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna be angry every week."
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
you would think, but it's actually I think they topped themselves in the second season than they did with the first. You could tell Misha Green had more of her hand in it and focused more on the stories, the women in it. So that's the thing. If you can tell really good stories about women, especially black women, you got me. And Underground did a very job in doing these well-rounded representations of black women, especially during that time, in ways that you don't get to see black people depicted, during the during that time period in 1850s. And so, if you give it another chance, you might like it. You, like she said, it's a lot, but if you can get through those first episodes and hang in there, it was worth it.
Well, what I was doing at the time was I was gonna binge, and
Yeah,
I think I watched like
yeah.
1 or 2 episodes, and I was like, this ain't the show to binge, man. This is not the show
No,
to
it's not.
binge.
It's
No.
too much to binge.
It's too much.
Mm-mm.
Like I need to
Mm-mm.
space
Bless
out
your
some
heart.
time.
Mm-mm.
Yes, yes. So maybe I'll do it, but I'll just watch maybe 1 episode every 2 weeks or so I
Yeah.
can
Mm.
step off
Mm-hmm.
my anger a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I
I
haven't
tried
done
to
it
watch an
again.
episode at work so I could get ahead
Oh,
and, prepare for the podcast.
oh.
Nah, I can't. You
Yeah.
can't watch it at work with my
No.
phone.
No, you
No.
want to
Mm-mm.
slap the hell out of everybody that's talking to you.
So
Crazy.
yes.
Yeah. Okay, before we move on, I also wanted to mention she also does Ratchet Research with Katrina Jackson. She did Underground with Maria Jackson.
Hmm.
And Katrina's last name is Jackson, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, Ratchet Research
All the
with
Jacksons.
yeah, I know. But yeah, Ratchet Research, it's like the name implies, it kind of has a bit of a scholarly bent to it on things, but it's also really fun.
Okay.
So,
And it's really, yeah, we get kind of silly and shady and and just it's
yes.
messy.
I'll have to check that
The
out. That
cat is
sounds
messy.
like fun. Ratchet Research, you said?
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on the Black Girl Squeak feed. So,
It's all in the same place right now.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So I'd like to do more shows, but this Zencaster be costing, and all these other, the Simplecast, podcasting costs.
Yeah.
The shit ain't free, so
No, it's not.
I need some more money coming in. Because right now is mainly just my money sunk into this. So I need to get more patrons to help further this network along. But that's where I'd like to be in a few years with this network fully launched and black women talking about all the things.
Because that's the voice that matters, at least to me.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the voice
Exactly.
that gives me the best knowledge. So what do you find? I'm going to ask y'all a twofold question. What do you find difficult about podcasting, and what do you love about podcasting?
Well, first of all, I'm gonna say editing. I hate it. Enda loves it. But
Well,
editing is what I hate. The technical difficulties
yes.
are annoying. But they're a part of it. Um, and I feel like the shows could be more popular, could get more feedback. I feel like it could be bigger, but I don't know how to tap into whatever audience could be out there. I don't know. I need to
Yeah.
step my marketing game up.
Yeah. I know also for me, I always kind of I have to get past, these, doubts and, voices like, am I interesting enough? Am I
Mm-hmm.
am I engaging, with people in a way
Mm-hmm.
that they like? and that's always kind of a worry for me. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like she said, technical difficulties, as you found earlier today. Technology does not like me
I don't believe
sometimes.
that. Eh.
But I'm like, yeah, that's just it's just frustrating. But then sometimes you get, a payoff. Somebody will find something in value in what you do, and I'm like, okay, so it was worth those, 6 hours of editing and pain and that I went through to, do this. So,
Yeah, in
but
the end,
yeah,
it always seems to work out,
yeah,
especially if somebody tells you that, they understood you, they know where you're coming from, they rock with you. It makes it all worth it. Trust
yeah,
me. I go through those same insecurities doing this show by myself all
yeah.
the time. So I understand. Trust me. But what do you love about it?
With Black Girl Squee, I really just like talking to Dee Dee. Like we were saying, I told her in our self-care episode, I just like talking to her and just being able to talk about all the awesome things Black women do.
Mm-hmm.
It's therapeutic. I love that. But also, yeah, I do, love having that payoff, when somebody, else, gets something out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I love, having a voice because before, podcasting, it's like one of those things just really struggling to find my voice. And so it's like I've gotten better at that. Some of the things that I've learned doing that, I've actually been able to translate to other shows that I do with it when it's just me. And so it's being in that place and saying, having the confidence, like, oh, I actually can do this. So it's been it's been a way to help me evolve. I guess I could say.
Okay. And Dee Dee, what do you love?
Um, I love talking about all of the awesome things that Black women are doing all
Mm-hmm.
over the world, and I love I love just being able to talk my shit, basically,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
I feel like, I feel like, I mean, I'm a Black woman. Um, I may not be an authority on all things Black feminism, but I can speak a little bit about being a Black woman. So I have
Yeah.
a little bit of authority on that. So can't
You got
nobody,
that down pat. Yeah.
yeah, can't
Mm-hmm.
nobody on Twitter, like, take that from me or
Oh
anything like
no.
that. But I love, yeah, I love just getting my squee on and
Mm-hmm.
being able to talk about the various different things that this show allows us to talk about. What do I love about podcasting? I do like when we do get feedback and we see that we see that we do mean something to um, somebody else, that somebody else is actually listening and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
liking what they hear. I and Inda touched on it before, but I'm always surprised and delighted by the number of non-black women of color that enjoy the show and don't feel put off by it
Yeah.
or by the topic, by the fact that we focus on black women. They enjoy it, just as much as anybody else, and support the show. Like, so uh, that's been a surprising little uh, uh, part of it for me. So yeah, that's what I like about it.
Well, good. I haven't got my first feedback yet, but I imagine when I get my first ones, it'll feel rewarding. If
Mhm.
nothing else,
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yes.
so there's actually someone that's listening, because it feels like what I'm doing is just going out into the ether, the netherworlds, the another
Yes.
dimension, like, and that's
Yeah.
cool because I'm able to get it out there. But yeah. I imagine getting feedback probably would be, really good for the show itself. So before I forget, Black women shout out, ladies. Black woman shout out. So I'm going to start with you, Inda. Tell me your Black woman shout out for today.
Okay, well, I actually didn't realize she'd been on the show before, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Tanya DePass. She
Yay.
is the founder of I Need Diverse Games, and I love how she always tells the story how she found it. She was ranting about video games at 6 o'clock in the morning, as you do. But
Mm-hmm.
she's done so much with that organization, and now she goes to conferences and things, speaks about diversity in gaming and a lot of the problems that gamers of color, black women, and people with other marginalizations such as disabilities and things like that, how they have to deal with gaming environments and things like that. And so she does really amazing work with that. And like I said, she is inspirational, definitely. And so I just love, the work she does. And I'll get to see her next week at WisCon. Yay!
At WestCon, is that what you said?
WisCon.
Oh, WisCon. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tanya was a lot of fun to talk to, so we had a great interview. And Dee Dee, what's your Black woman shout out for today?
Well, I would like to shout out the Black Swan Collective, or Corner Store Press presents the Black Swan Collective, hosted by the lovely Inda Lauren. It's been going 2 years strong. It's a music show on Mixcloud, and it features all Black women artists. Some you may have heard of, some you may have not. Doing all forms of music, so it's so if you love music, if you love Black women, it just puts the two together, and you get to see just how much creativity and genius there is in Black women musicians that we just don't see enough of in the mainstream. So, and she has this great throwback segment that be taking me back in the day. She played Tasman Archer and Deion Ferris and what's the other? Keena.
Keena.
And then I was like, oh my God, I remember all those songs. I remember wearing them out on cassette.
Yeah.
I'm like, Inda's taking me back to cassettes. I should throw my phone down.
Go Inda.
Yeah, Black Swan Collective. She's doing a lot of great stuff on her Patreon. A great series of audio essays called Inda's Corner.
Mm-hmm.
And so just check out. She be doing dope shit. So Inda Lauren.
That's what I'm talking about.
Shout out.
I will definitely be checking that out. I'm a big music fan, so absolutely. So tell everyone how they can get in touch with you. I definitely am going to put your information in the show notes so that people will be able to get to you. But just so that people can get out there in touch with you and listen to your podcast, just tell them how they can do that. I'm going to start with you, Dee Dee.
All right. Well, all of our episodes are on blackgirlsquee.simplecast.fm. You can search for us on iTunes, Google Play, any podcatcher, Black Girl Squee. And you can email us, blackgirlsquee@gmail.com. We have a Tumblr where we post all the episodes as well, blackgirlsquee.tumblr.com. And we're on Twitter, blackgirlsquee. That's the account that Inda and I both run. And we're on Twitter individually as Inda's Corner and Dust Daughter. And I think, and the Patreon is patreon.com/blackgirlsquee. think that's about it.
So I found your podcast. I use Podcast Addict. I've already downloaded a few episodes.
All right.
It is absolutely easy to find you ladies. And this week in that print. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I found the website. Mm-hmm. Rontez Valentine. I see you.
Ooh.
I see you. And a man with a beard. What?
Yes. Great beards of our time. Great beards of our time.
Yes.
Important. We need to add the Jen from American Gods. That was a great beard of our time.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I haven't seen that episode yet. I heard that episode was good though. I heard it was good though.
Giving you beard and print. It was like
I get both.
Everything.
Not even both? Print. They're just giving you.
Oh, they give it to me all. Yes. Yeah, you know what though? They do show a lot of D on that show. They do.
Yes. They do.
Mm-hmm. I need to watch that episode.
Yeah. It's good. It's good stuff.
Oh my God, that whole scene.
It was
that
beautiful.
entire sequence of events was just thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna have to. I look forward to watching that episode then, because I've only seen it up to episode 2. And episode 2 had quite a bit of it in there itself. I was like, wait a minute, pause. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. I see
They're not
you
playing around on Stars.
They not.
It got better.
Okay.
Yeah. they're like, they are totally styling on HBO. Like, bet you can't do this.
Right.
How many penises can you put in an episode? Right. Watch me now.
Watch me now. Watch me work. Oh gosh. Oh, this episode has been a lot of fun, ladies. Was there anything else that you'd like to add before we disconnect the call?
I'd also like to shout out Black Joy Mixtape and We Robbed a Zoo, and because I love those podcasts.
Yes.
And they make me very happy, and they're Black women running things on there and just doing great stuff.
Yeah.
And it's called Black Girl Mixtape or Black Woman Mixtape?
It's called Black Joy Mixtape.
Black Joy Mixtape. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
And I also just wanted to shout out Nerdgasm Noir Network again, because they really did open a lot of doors for Black women podcasters and
the OGs.
Just showing it can be done, and that voice was needed, and so just kind of really being the foundation for it, and that made a lot of us say, yeah, we can do this.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, ladies. It's been so much fun talking to you today.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right.
So, I guess this whole episode is going to be based around some of my Sheroes, because right now I'm about to talk about an article written by Leslie Mack, who's another Shero of mine. I've been a fan of Leslie and just kind of watching what she does for years, right? Like, I know of her. I listened to Black Ayuteb, so that was my first introduction to Leslie. And then I've listened to Interracial John, which is the podcast that her and Drew have created. That's really good. I admire her so much for what she does for our community. You know, she is an organizer. She is boots to the ground, out there fighting for our rights. And, I respect her so much for that, because there's so many of us that take that for granted, and we shouldn't. And I love her from a very far distance. I love her for doing that for us. And then, of course, she and Marissa are behind the safety pin box. So, she's out here getting these white people in check while putting checks in the hands of Black women. And I love that. So I wanted to read an article that she wrote on a website called The Lily that I thought was really good about the death of Charlene Lyles. So the article is titled, "Black Women Are the Only Ones Showing Up for Black Women." So we've lost another Black woman to state violence this week. Charlena Lyles, a pregnant mother of 4, was gunned down by police in her home. Lyles called the police reporting a burglar in her home. Instead, they showed up and killed her in front of her children. There are many things about this devastating tragedy that are worth writing about. The narrative being spun by Seattle police via the Seattle Times and other media outlets, the eyewitness accounts of the incident, the notion that bullets are needed to handle a tiny black woman in her own home. But I'd like to focus on just one part of this: the lack of attention being paid to this death in the wide and expanding movement for Black lives. Activist Feminista Jones expressed this via Twitter a few days ago. I want to cry because I know that Charlena Lyles won't get the same support and protests because she is a black woman and a mother. Hashtag say her name. And Feminista wrote this on the 18th of June. Jones is spot on here. Lack of support for the victims of police violence who are black women has been a persistent issue for a long time. Black women are taking the lead in the current movement for black liberation, while also being ignored and pushed aside when our deaths occur. I have been working to connect people to this movement for over 5 years. The first nationwide call to action I participated in was the National Moment of Silence in August of 2014. It was a nationwide vigil for Michael Brown initiated by Jones. Over 115 cities participated around the country. I coordinated the Philadelphia vigil and was bowled over by the 700 plus Philadelphians who showed up for Brown that day. I went on to create the Ferguson Response Network Tumblr to support additional nationwide efforts calling for change. Over 150 cities participated around the world, and the site was featured on the Rachel Maddow Show. I was excited to see the movement become more connected and a responsive entity. Black death at the hands of the state is a rage-inducing reality in this country. It happens as sure as the sun comes up each day, and the months following the creation of Ferguson Response were no exception. Nationwide calls to action became a way of life for me and many others. We took to the streets for Eric Gardner, Tamir Rice, John Crawford, Brandon Tate Brown, Freddie Gray, and so many others stolen from our communities too soon by police. Each time I added a call to action to the Tumblr, cities would respond by planning an action. Getting 80 plus cities to participate each time was a fairly simple task. In May 2015, a group of organizations issued a call to action to hashtag say her name. We wanted to shift focus onto the black women who had been killed. I was excited and hopeful that the movement I had watched become so powerful would show up for black women. Reality hit me like a sledgehammer. Not only could we not get 50 cities to participate, I remember having to get on the phone and personally call organizers in 20 cities to get them to hold hashtag say your name actions. 20 cities, such a low bar. I was hurt but hopeful that these 20 cities would turn out for black women. Not only was the attendance low, the hashtag say your name actions were almost exclusively attended by black women. In Chicago, where Rekia Boyd was killed by police, organizers reported only 6 attendees that were not black women. 6. Another sobering truth came in August 2015 when activist Elle Hearns called for the hashtag Transliberation Tuesday, a nationwide call to action to support the brutal murders of black transgender women across the country. We saw even lower participation, attendance, engagement, and focus. It became crystal clear. When we center on black women, cis or trans, don't expect anyone to show up besides black women. And now, in the wake of the death of Charlena Lyles, that truth persists. This truth is pathological. I know this because most reading this won't know the names of the following women the police and the state have taken from us: Megan Hockaday, Yvette Smith, Alexia Christian, Yvette Henderson, Alberta Sproul, Shanique Proctor, Tanisha Anderson, Cherise Francis, Shelley Frey, Chantel Davis, Miriam Carey, Michelle Castaneau, Melissa Williams, Kayla Moore, Gabriela Navarez, Erica Collins, Michaela Ross, Anita Gay. Said plainly, we collectively do not hashtag say your name and never have. Late last year, I started the Safety Pen Box, a monthly subscription box for white people striving to be allies, with Marissa Janae Johnson. From the start, Marissa were clear about one thing. We created this business to support Black women. We chose to do this because it's been very clear to me for quite some time that the only people here for Black women are Black women. We won't see widespread outrage for Charlene Lyles that we did for Alton Sterling. Black women are the ones who will be supporting the Lyles family. Black women are the ones who will be leading the protests of this senseless death. Black women are the ones will not allow the police narrative to be the only narrative in the life of this beautiful mother. This movement needs a wake-up call. When organizing is measured in actions and attendance, and success is tallied in crowd size, how can Black women ever be free? How long can we continue to be both the backbone of this movement and its whipping post? Like, that was a sentence that got me. How long can we endure our own pain being ignored? This situation is untenable. It's time for a reckoning. It's time to clear the air and start over. It's time for us all to finally #say her name. And until that happens, I'll be here doing everything in my power to lift up the names and the lives of those who we lost, and to build more capacity to do the work that calls me every day, supporting Black women, all day, every day. What a great article, because it's so true. If we don't support each other, no one will. I mean, no one. We're out here in the streets for Black men. We shout out Black men. We fight for Black men, but they don't fight for us. And the only ones that do is all of us here. We are the only ones that support each other. And people have got to see how much pain that we're in, how much we need them to say our name, because our names are just as important. As much as we do for our community, for the community as a whole, we're mothers, we're sisters, we're lovers, we're providers, we're, out here fighting for everybody's rights, but no one's fighting for ours. Yeah, that time has got to come for people to say our name too. Big ups to you, Leslie. I love this article. All right, so on this episode, I'm speaking to Miss Shayla Raquel, who did a short film called Riverment. And Riverment highlights the differences and similarities between the civil rights activists of yesterday and the freedom fighters of today. Miss Shayla, are you there?
Yes.
All right, well, welcome to the show. First of all, I wanted to get a little bit about yourself.
All right. So as Latoya said, my name is Shayla Raquel. I feel like I am the epitome of the saying, use your 9 to 5 to fund your 5 to 9. And that's exactly what I've been doing. I've been interested in film and that medium since I was probably 12 years old. And I have been doing it ever since then. I currently am a student at American University. I'm a film student. And Riverment is actually my thesis film. So I can complete my matriculation and get my Master's of Fine Arts degree in film and electronic media. I'm originally from Columbia, South Carolina, but I'm now located in Washington, D.C. area, and I absolutely love it here. It's been wonderful to be here. I did my undergraduate at Florida A&M University. Go Rattlers! I bleed orange and green, and I'm just excited to be here. I'm excited to talk with you today.
All right, so what I'm going to start off with first is the intro on your website that kind of explains what Riverment is. So let's play that.
I hear voices. I hear voices. I hear voices.
When I was a child, my grandparents would tell me stories about what it was like for them to survive in the Jim Crow South. Their words and their precautions flowed like blood in my veins, and from that I grew and became aware. With a new civil rights movement brewing, I knew I had to be a part of this new awakening. I told my grandmother this, and she said,
"My generation did those things so that you wouldn't have to."
For months, her words stuck with me, and I decided to explore that as a concept and use it as a way to place my fingerprint on the new movement in the best way that I know how, through art and through film. Hi, my name is Shayla Raquel, and I am the writer and director of the short film Riverman. Riverman is a heart-wrenching drama that explores the generational differences between the Black baby boomers who participated in the civil rights movement and the millennials participating in Black Lives Matter, while also highlighting the post-traumatic stress experienced by those involved in both. The film follows Maureen, who tells her granddaughter Tina stories about what she encountered during her years as a civil rights activist. When Tina grows up and decides to follow in her grandmother's footsteps, their relationship becomes strained out of fear for Tina's safety. Family, love, culture, and support are elements that will flow throughout this film. And my goal is to show that despite generational differences, solidarity is most important because the fight continues on. The completion of Riverman will serve as my third film project. I am a filmmaker who is interested in telling compelling stories that feature Black women as dynamic, flawed, and complex characters. And with this film, that is exactly what I plan to do. Riverman is not a completed film yet, and it won't become one without your help. Every penny raised will go towards production costs, which means every donation, no matter how big or small, will go towards turning this beautifully crafted script into a beautifully crafted film. Help me make my filmmaking dreams come true by checking out this Kickstarter, browsing through the perks, looking at the website, and giving what you can. Any amount helps. And remember, a movement that isn't evolving isn't moving.
So first of all, I gotta say the imagery on that short film that you just did on here, it's beautiful. I loved it.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I love the different signs that you showed, the civil rights signs that you showed. The concept behind this is really interesting to me. So tell me a little bit more about Rivermint.
All right. So Rivermint, as stated in the Kickstarter video, is about a former civil rights activist, and the way that she copes with her traumatic experience is by sharing her stories with her granddaughter by the river. When her granddaughter grows up and decides she wants to continue to fight, generational differences kind of push them apart. And I came up with Rivermint after a conversation I had with my own grandmother. Just a little bit background about my grandmother and my grandfather. They were born in like South Carolina during the Jim Crow era, you know. Mm-hmm. And so with growing up in South Carolina, they just made us very racially aware. They made us very proud of our heritage, and they would tell us the different stories about the different things that they encountered growing up as like teenagers and young adults in the Jim Crow South. And just, you know, listening to that, and you kind of like, and you embody that, you become aware, and you become proud. And I always just enjoyed listening to my grandmother and my grandfather's stories. And to them, you know, they didn't think that they were civil rights activists. In their heads, you know, a civil rights activist is someone who's definitely on the front lines. But the different things that they did to show resistance, in my head, they were definitely activists. There's no right way to be an activist. Mm-hmm. So with knowing all of that and growing up in that type of environment, and then kind of going off to college and then moving up into the DC area, and then, you know, we kind of hit this. It was definitely not a new age. It's just because of social media and because of the news, it's more in our face. This new movement against police brutality came about. I just felt empowered, and I just remember like calling my grandmother and going, "Grandma," I want to say this was when the incident with Michael Brown had occurred. And I just remember calling my grandma like, Grandma, I want to go out and I want to go march. They're going to have a march in DC. I'm angry, this, that, and the third. And my grandmother was just like, no, you need to just turn off the news. You're always going to be angry if you just keep watching the news and stuff like that. And I just remember her saying, we did all those things back in the day so that you and your generation didn't have to. And with her saying that, I was just like, wow. And it was a protection thing. It wasn't necessarily that she didn't want me to, fight the good fight. It was just that no person of that generation had expected that we would be still fighting some of the things that they were fighting back then now. So with her saying that, it just kind of really just embedded inside me, and I just couldn't let it go. And then I thought, wow, I think this would be an interesting movie idea. And I think that'll be interesting to just explore those differences, but still, show the pride, and show that solidarity is still needed, but also kind of show that those type of reaction it's post-traumatic stress. It is the fact that, they went through all of that stuff, and, they're still feeling the effects of all of that stuff, and they don't want us to mentally be affected by that stuff. Like they are. And so that's how Rivermint kind of came about, and it has grown and grown and grown into this huge thing that I am so proud of, and she's proud of. She's helped me. I've called her numerous times while writing and producing this, and I keep sending her pictures, and she's just so proud of it. And it's just been a wonderful experience.
Now, your grandmother sounds like a wonderful woman.
Oh, she is. She owned a Black business in South Carolina, and so did my grandfather, and just caters to the community. She told some stories about how at the church they would teach the elders how to read and write, and so that they can try to go vote. And it was just the stuff that she can. I could talk all day about her and my love for her.
And look, this is Secret Sauce, so that's what this is here for. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I love it. So I understand why you chose this media. It sounds like this is something that you've always been into, film itself.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So about that, I used to actually want to be an actress. That's why I think it was interesting that you had asked before we started recording, was I in the movie? I've always been into the arts, probably since I was able to walk and talk. My mother would tell you I have loved everything about film arts and theater. And then when I was 12 years old, I just, for background information, I have sickle cell disease. So when I was 12 years old, I had a stroke, and with that, with that tragedy kind of happening, it gave me a new appreciation for life. And so, to kind of hold on to that life factor, I kind of got into storytelling and writing. And so, I would write all the time, write stories all the different time. And then, I had it's I think 8 or 9 grandchildren up under me, and I would have them do little short films and do little music videos. And when you're doing that stuff as a child, you're not thinking, oh, this is something that I can see as a career. You're just having fun, And then my grandmother, actually, she was kind of the person who had pushed me to pursue it as a more than just a hobby. So it was her. And then when I was in high school, I was in the drama club because I love being on stage. And I had a teacher who was like, hey, Shayla, you should also learn what it's like to direct. You should learn how to be behind the camera. And so she allowed me to direct my own play for the entire school. And with just having that type of support system, even though I went to FAMU and majored in computer science, I was still doing videos. I was doing videos for the Greeks on campus. I was doing videos for the small businesses, doing little promotional videos. And my grandmother had snuck and bought me my first own camera, and then she snuck and bought me my first Mac so I could edit. And just having that type of support system, I just kept going. And once I graduated, I was like, I think I'm ready. I think I can do this. So even though I work now for the government. I decided to go to film school full time. So I'm a full time student and a full time government employee. Jesus help me. But yeah, and it's been a wonderful experience, and it just made me realize that this is it's a passion, it's a calling, and I'm gonna continue to work until my 5 to 9 becomes my 9 to 5.
That's right. I know that's right. So how long has it taken you from start to right now?
For River Mint. So it has been 2 years, and we just finished production. So we still have probably 6 months to a year to go. I started writing this in 2015. Okay. I had just came off of a high. Actually, I had just finished a short film called Life's Checklist. And that went off to win, to get entered into, it was officially selected into 9 film festivals and won awards in 6. And so coming off of that high, it's like when you're an artist, you kind of chase this high, this completion of a project type high. And when you come down from it, you just got to hop into your next one. So River Mint was kind of my next one. I kind of already had the idea because of the conversation I had with my grandmother. And then it was just now to start writing it. So I started writing it on my own. And then I took a writing for short film class to like give me the discipline to like really hardcore finish it. Because when it's 4th grade, you get it done. So, so yeah, even though I had started writing it, I think that doing it for that class kind of helped me like get it down. And then from there, I had to take the thesis course where you have to actually pitch it in front of all like the faculty and staff and some students. And my pitch got accepted on its first try. And we have been working. That was all 2015. We've been working on it ever since. We started fundraising in 2016. We did a Kickstarter, which that video that you shown was from. We ended up raising a little over $21,000 in our Kickstarter. And with Kickstarter taking all of the fees, we only ended up with maybe 18,000. But still, that's Kickstarter is a hard platform too. So I'm very, very proud of that. So we did the Kickstarter, and then we started production, I want to say September of 2016. We hit so many snafus and so many things just went wrong that we ended up saying, hey guys, let's stop. Let's let everybody take a break, get through the holiday season, and let's just do a fresh start in March. And so that's what we did. And our March shoots were so smooth. And we just finished. We just wrapped our last. We wrapped our last shooting date on April 8th, and so now we're in the editing phase.
So, do you still have the Kickstarter, or is the Kickstarter ended?
So the Kickstarter has ended. However, when your Kickstarter is successful, your Kickstarter can become a website. So if people go to the Kickstarter, they're still able to donate. There's a donation link right there.
Okay. And so right now you said you're in post-production, but you still need some help to get this film off the ground, right? To get it out there.
Absolutely. So people don't realize post-production costs about the same, not more, than production. We have to pay for editing. We have to pay for color correction. We have to pay for sound design. We have to pay for music licensing or music composition. So basically everything that turns this film into a living, breathing thing. We have to pay for, and it's very expensive. So we use all our Kickstarter money for just getting through production. And so now we're trying to raise money for the post-production phase.
Okay. And so where would you like to see your film in the future?
Oh wow. Okay. So I've always been told just, shoot for the moon. And then if you don't hit the moon, you'll land amongst the stars. So it was always my dream to win a Student Academy Award. I was just I've always wanted to enter my film into the Student Academy Awards. If you're familiar about the Student Academy Awards, Spike Lee had won one when he was in NYU, and usually your thesis film is what the thing that propels your career. So Student Academy Award would definitely be one. Also, the American Black Film Festival, that is like my number two. I would love to see it in the bigger film festival. So American Black Film Festival, Sundance, South by Southwest, Urban World. I just wanted it to hit the bigger festivals in hopes that it will help propel my career and get more support so that I can continue to make more films.
Well, good luck with everything. I really hope that this takes off for you, and I'm hoping that the people that are listening today will also help you, get some donations to you so that you can continue to grow your film.
Thank you.
Do you have anything in the horizon that you like anybody or our listeners to know about, or do you have anything that you're looking forward to in the future that involve the film?
Actually, yes. This is a hope. We are planning to do a few screenings once we're finished. We're looking at around November, but that can easily, depending on how this post-production phase go and how fast or how slow we raise the money to do post-production. Mm-hmm. We're looking at November, but that can easily become February. But we are planning to have screenings, national screenings around the East and West Coast before we start submitting it into film festivals. DC is definitely going to be one. We want to do New York, Atlanta. I have to go back home to South Carolina and also Tallahassee, Florida, because those are like home to me. Okay. And also LA. So I would love to have everyone come to those screenings. I'm planning on traveling to the screenings that we plan so that we can have a director Q&A where people can ask me questions about the film. So definitely look out for that. If you just stay on our website, we keep our calendar of events updated. So just stay on our website, look for those screenings that'll come winter 2017 and 2018.
Okay. All right. So what I would like for you to do is make sure that you give everybody your information so they can get in touch with you. Of course, I'm going to have it in the show notes as well, but I really want your film to get out there. Your message is needed right now. And I find what you did was really important. Grandmas, they're the best, right?
They are. Absolutely.
They're the absolute best. So tell everybody how they can get in touch with you.
All right. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Shayla Raquel. That's SHAYLA RACQUEL. I have a Facebook fan page. I have a Twitter, and I have an Instagram and that's also my website. So if you're looking for any type of videography services or anything like that, I do videography. Just go to ShaylaRaquel.com, SHAYLARACQUEL.com, and just send me an inquiry, and I would get right back to you. As far as the film, you can find the film on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Riverment Film. That's RIVERMENT film. You can also, that's pretty much where you can find me.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today on Secret Sauce.
You're welcome. Absolutely. I wanted to also shout out a Black woman.
Oh, girl. Yes, please. Please do. Please do.
And I think I've pretty much already, I'm gonna just do two, but I feel like I've pretty much already did that. But shout out to my mother and grandmother who instilled in me the pride of what it means to be Black, and to have pride in that. I just want to shout out to all Black mothers and Black grandmothers out there. Like, you're the ones who cultivate this cultivate this generation and make us proud of ourselves. And I am thankful for you.
All right. Well, thank you for saying that. Right, you have a great day. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
All right.
So, to end the show today, I wanted to send out a shout out to Leslie Jones, man. As I speak right now, she is hosting the 2017 BET Awards, and I'm so proud of her. Like, this woman has been in the comedy game for years, and just now starting to get her shine. You know, she got on SNL, you know, and she's been killing it there. Then she went on Ghostbusters, and she was hilarious in that. And right now, she's hosting the BET Awards, so big ups to you, mama. I thought it would be cool to kind of play like an older comedy routine of hers that one of her really old special. It was called Problem Child. I think she did it on Showtime years and years ago. And so I wanted to play a little segment up, but I thought it'd be kind of cool to listen to some of her comedy today. So enjoy.
Fuck a relationship.
Yeah. Leslie Jones is the shit, man. So really, like, shout out to her, man, for real. I'm just excited to see where she's going. You know, her trajectory right now is just unstoppable, and I wish her the absolute best, man, for real. Thank you so much for listening. Your support means everything to us. If you have feedback, something you want to discuss, or you own a business you like to promote, please contact us at bwsbusiness@mtrnetwork.net. Remember, you are beautiful, you're brilliant, and you're bad as fuck. Support another Black woman today. Bye.